Hello, welcome back to Eliminate SQL series. We continue SQL language. So till now we have covered some ground, the basic things needed for SQL. We'll move to some other unique requirements that we need to learn to get a good grip of SQL as a language. So let's start with distinct. Till now we have not used distinct as a keyword and what is the difference that it plays. So for example, if we use this employees as a table and say select star then from employees, so this is all is required that we do. And if we put or say select just the column gender from employees and then control and then enter gender from employees. Okay, no database is selected, sorry. So if this comes as no database is selected, then let's use employees. Right. So now this will work. So what is happening is we are getting all the rows. There are almost 3 lakhs rows. So all these rows with male and female is coming. So now we want to find whether we have only 2 gender or 3 gender, whatever is the case here, right? What are the unique ones? So for that, distinct is used. Now use distinct gender and then say control and enter. Now you see only 2 distinct entries are there in this particular employees as a table. Let's say department name. How many distinct department names are there? So select distinct, you have to use this first. Then you say department name from departments. Okay, so let's do a control enter. Departments, sorry, spell check. So now we have the output. So how many unique departments do we have? 9 rows. We have 9 distinct departments in this particular employees as a database. Customer service, development, finance, something like this. Okay, then now let's get introduced to the aggregate functions. So what are aggregate functions? So from the name aggregate, what could be those? Some simple examples would be sum. So we are adding multiple records, multiple lines and then getting the output. That could be one. Count could be another. How many rows are there? How many records are there? Again, it can be differentiated by different levels or different hierarchy. Okay, in each department how many employees are there, total how many employees are there. So the count can differ at different levels based on your usage. So let's start with count and then we'll slowly progress to different aggregate functions that are available in SQL. So select count. So count as a keyword. So you see when we put count as a keyword, keyword, all, average, binary, you have lot many functions. Average is another aggregate function. So there are many aggregate functions which are available. So if you scroll down, a lot of functions, out of which there are some which are aggregate functions. So these many functions can be used within the SQL. So count. So count, what do you want to count? So if you're using here using employees table, let's go to employees table itself. So we have employee number. So how many unique employees or how many employees do we have? In the employee table, we know that employee number is unique. So we just put count employee number from employees. So we get output as 3000. That's 3,24,000. So these many employees are there in the employees table. Now we did had a question earlier. Say for example we had select star then from employees where first name equals to Mark. Let's check whether something is there. So we have Mark. So first name is Mark and we have 230 employees with first name Mark. So this is something which we had done earlier. Now we can also do something like to answer a question of how many distinct first name is it? So Mark itself has 230 rows, right? How many distinct first name are there? Count of distinct first name maybe. So what you want to do is select, you want first name. So let's put count. First you have to put count, then this is how we have to use it, then we'll put distinct. So now you are aggregating distinct. So earlier what we used is only distinct. So distinct first name means you will get all, how many distinct first names are there, that is what you will get. So this part you will get distinct first name, so you will get all the distinct first names. No mark will be repeated, or no other names with same first name will be repeated here. So that is output with distinct first name. You are enclosing them into a parenthesis and putting an aggregate function of count. Now you will get a count of those. So that's the only thing. That's how we'll have to develop our thinking based on SQL. Now you see, so count distinct first name. How many distinct first name are there? 1275 distinct first names are available in the employees table, right? Now we already have seen that if we don't put any alias name, it will come as is based on count distinct first name what we have in MySQL. Now if you put an alias and say this is total first, or let's just put distinct first name. Now we have distinct first names 1275. So this is how it is done. Now building on top of what we have done, we had also used where, right? So let's see a use case where can be used. Earlier we had seen employees who have salary greater than 20,000, right? So let us now frame a question, or we have a question. I want to know how many employees do we have with salary greater than say 50,000. So you want to know how many employees are there with salary greater than 50,000. So we'll go to salaries table. We have employee number, we have salary, we have from date and to date. So what we have to do is we'll just do a select. Well, let's select count star. Let's count everything, the number of rows of whatever the other columns are, just count everything. Count star number of rows from salaries where salary greater than 50,000. So 50,000, I put 5 lakh, seems, yeah. So we have these many rows which has salary greater than 50,000, 7,35,000 rows. Now it had a problem earlier also. We have not addressed that issue yet. The issue is same employee is getting repeated. There are multiple salary entries for the same employee. So that exists even now, right? To solve that, we'll look into it later when we develop those skills as well. Now we are just moving from very basic. So we are just counting entire row. Star also works. We have used distinct also, how to use it, and where also.